right, everybody, welcome back to the Break Zone. My name is JT. I'm going to be covering this event for you guys today. We're just about to start with Swiss Round 1. So let's go ahead and get ready. Our first match is going to be between Mitchell and Brian. We're going to go ahead and switch over to their match right now. All right, Brian is actually one of the regulars here at Isle of Gamers, and Mitchell, I believe, has recently just started playing. Neither of these players went to nationals, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan they're going to come with. It's pretty cool. A lot of people are just finished from nationals, so you're going to see a lot of different types of decks. A lot of people are brewing right now, getting ready for Opus 4 coming out in December. So a lot of people are playing different types of decks that they usually wouldn't be playing when they're getting ready and gearing up for nationals. So it's going to be cool. We're going to see a whole different types of decks, a lot of newer brews, and I'm happy you guys are here to join us to take a look to see how our first Meta Potion Circuit event is going to run. Before we start, I'd really like to give a shout out to Isle of Gamers and Elusive Comics for allowing us the space to run our event. And I'd like to give a shout out to all the organizers on the Meta Potion Circuit, Matthew Okimoto, Kyle McGinty, and of course all the store owners are a part of the circuit. You guys are giving us a fantastic venue to play at, and the players and the organizers are really, really appreciative. Again, my name is JT, and welcome to the Break Zone. If you guys like what we're doing, go ahead and hit subscribe, thumbs up, or thumbs down, whatever you like us to do, and we're gonna get to start really shortly. Players are now just shuffling their decks. This is again Swiss Round 1. We're gonna go through what I believe to be 4 rounds of Swiss before we cut to a top 4. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be interesting to see what type of things evolve from the new meta. Again, the meta after nationals, I'm assuming is going to shift a lot. A lot of players, they're done brewing for competition, and they're kind of starting. It's kind of like a new season. They're ramping up. They're trying out new experimental cards. You might see some national decks here. You might not. We have a handful of national players here. Some ranked 34th. Some, one was ranked 22nd. So we have a lot of good competition here. So, we're hoping to see some really, really good gameplay. Again, I'm really glad you guys are here to join us for this. We're really excited. The Break Zone's really excited to cover the first event. And hopefully, we'll be covering the rest of the events for all of NorCal. And again, a shout out to our sister event going down in SoCal right now. I'm sure they're all up and running with a ton of players. I believe we have 20 players today. So it's going to be great. It's going to be really cool. All right, here comes a dice roll to see who goes first. Again, just for players who haven't played this game before, the first player goes first, but only draws 1 card, whereas the second player draws 2. And from then on, every player will draw 2 cards. So, players start off with 5 cards, and we'll see who goes first and who goes second.
Final Fantasy Gamers, just one announcement, just to clarify. After you guys have finished your match, do not touch the board state. Leave it as it is and call over a judge.
All right, looks like Brian's gonna go first. Let's see what he's gonna do. He's got a couple of Odins. I'm not quite sure that's really what you want to see on your first hand. There he goes, and he goes again in mulligans. In this game, you can mulligan 1 time. Cards go on the bottom. You do not get to reshuffle, and you draw 5 new cards. He went ahead, and here is his 6th card. Okay, good. It looks like he's got some backups to play. Let's see what he goes with. He discards. He plays the WRO, and he's going to discard the Onion Knight for Red Mage. The WRO card is an interesting card. Let me go ahead and bring it up so people can take a look at it. It's actually a very interesting card to play, only because a lot of the new Opus 3 cards, especially for Earth. Earth has seen a lot of legitimate boosts in their game plan. So Brian's right here is playing the WR member when it's actually going to be able to protect the commander, so it can't be broken at a turn. So That's actually really powerful. When you start to see how these WR mummers come, they feed off of each other, right? So, oh, okay, so Mitchell goes and plays. He pitches to play the Alcid. I'm not quite sure. Does he not have any backups? Um, Looks not. No, looks like he just played the Alcid with no follow-up. Usually an Alcid follows up with a Rigdia or an Onion Knight so that you can do some damage to forwards, but I'm not quite sure this is the proper play right now because Alcid is really only useful. Well, I mean, he is still a forward, but Alcid is really useful when you have an opponent that has a forward out in play, so you can actually do some type of control, some damage control and whatnot. So I'm not quite sure this is the right play over here for Mitchell. I'll go ahead and bring up Alcid. Oh wow, and Brian goes ahead and discards the Ingus to plays a legendary Vincent. Now, the legendary Vincent is a very strong card to have, and I'll bring it up for people to take a look at. It's seen a lot of play in Opus 2. It hasn't seen a lot of play in the Opus 3 meta, and I'm kind of wondering why. And for everyone who's watching the stream right now, Legendary Vincent is a 4-drop 8K, so it's right at the right curve for the CP to power ratio. But he can't be broken by opposing summons or abilities that don't do damage. So he can't get Odin or anything like that. Both sides of Odin. So and he has Death Penalty, which is a very, very strong special. That's going to allow you to break forwards of a cumulative cost of 7 or more. So it looks like Mitchell's playing Lightning Ice discard. He just played the Sarah. That's going to force Brian to discard a card. Brian has the 8K Vincent out, which is stronger than both Alcid and Sarah, but he's choosing not to attack. It's a good, strong play because he's not playing of another forward, so he doesn't want to do the backswing, which is going to definitely hurt him if he's not able to come back. But we see in his hand that he has some plays. He has some plays. Let's see how he plays it out. It doesn't look like there's any. Wow, Mitchell doesn't. Oh, and there goes his first backup, and he drops the Adia. Again, Mitchell's going to be kind of stuck attacking into that Vincent. That Vincent is pretty strong enough to handle both of those forwards. So, bit of a stalemate. The board state seems to be, and with the Tama coming down. So for those who don't know Tama, it's one of actually one of my favorite cards in Opus 1. The backup it's pretty cool. You can actually put Tama into the break zone, and you can play a character of cost X or less from your hand onto the field. The thing is, you can do this on the opponent's turn because these are abilities, activated abilities that you can play when you have priority, and that includes when it's your opponent's turn. So you can actually sneak somebody in to block, or you can sneak somebody in before the end of their turn so that you don't have to spend the resources the next time. Of course, Tama won't be able to be used because it just got played, so it comes in dull, and activated abilities that cause dull can't be played on the first turn that they come in. Mitchell goes ahead and plays the backup Lulu, which is going to give all of his lightning forwards additional 1,000 power. So now he's going to go ahead and attack. Not a party attack because they need to be of the same element. So they can attack by themselves. Again, I believe Vincent is still stronger than that Alcid. So Brian gets a chance to activate his Tama, so he does have some plays now. It's interesting to see what he's going to do. He's got some plays in his hands. He can... Let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to discard the WR member, and he's going to play Death Penalty. So Death Penalty is one of the reasons why Legendary Vincent sees a lot of play, because the Death Penalty allows you to instantly break forwards of the cumulative cost of 7 or less. So if they're playing a more efficient deck, one that has, 2 drops or 3 drops and whatnot. Vincent is actually going to make the opponent pay for playing those, because he simply needs to discard another Vincent and 5 CP. Oh, and there you go. We have our first damage. Brian swings in with Vincent, and Mitchell has no blocker, so he's going to have to take that. And he flips over a Shelky on his damage pool. So remember, your damage pool, or your damage cards that you put into the damage zone, can actually trigger EX bursts that have no stack, so the opponent can't react to it. Brian plays a WR member, which they all work off of each other, and it looks like Brian has the board state right now. He has a strong position. He's already wiped out 2 forwards that Mitchell has played a lot of cards to get out because he wasn't playing a lot of backups. So Mitchell's going to play the Alcid. He's going to target the Vincent, but let's see if that's right. He's going to go ahead and target the WRO member, and he plays into what I believe is to be a Noah. Okay. Brian goes ahead and takes that damage, flipping over a red mage. All right, it's Brian's turn. Let's go ahead and see what Brian's going to do here. He pitches a Sage. Mitchell's done a good job wrestling some control back on the field. And it looks like he's going to go play a Robon, which is another one of those really strong Earth cards from Opus 2. I'll bring it up for everyone to take a look at. Robon is what we call a fight card. It does something that no other card does. When it comes in, it's going to go ahead and do some damage to a forward by choosing another forward. So you don't actually choose the actual forward itself. It's the forward dealing its damage to another forward. It gets past a lot of those target cards that can't be targeted. Brian swings in for 2 damage because the WRO member is brave, so he doesn't need to activate to attack. So that puts Mitchell at 3 damage. Remember, the first person to get to 7 damage loses the match. He flips over a Sid Reigns as well as a Moogle. That's not really going to help him here. Mitchell plays a Sarah, forcing Brian to discard and pass his turn. So Brian has the backup advantage as well as a slight advantage over the forwards, because his forwards are a lot larger. One has Brave and one can't be broken. So let's see what Brian does here. He has some options to really put some pressure on Mitchell right now. It looks like Brian's playing really into the mid game with the Earth Lightning. He got to a good start. He's got board control. He's really putting Mitchell on the back end here. He pitches the Black Mage, dropping 2 more. Oh, and there goes the Amon. Amon's another really strong card. It's a tempo card that when he comes in, doles the active forward. So Brian now can go ahead and push in because he has a Brave person. So there you go. He's gonna attack with the Brave. That doesn't activate, and forcing Mitchell to block. And right. Looks like we're just going to see if they're going to activate Sarah Noah's ability. Looks Brian didn't get a chance to take a look at the Lulu in the back. So I think everything is still okay. The attack is blocked. He pitches, and as a result, before damage is dealt, he's going to go ahead and use again death penalty to break all of his forwards. So Mitchell is really hurting right now. He's going to need to put some forwards out, or it looks like he's going to be 1 damage away from Fatal. And never forget that Brian actually has a red mage out in play, which is going to allow him to, if he gets a chance to, play a forward and give it haste, allowing it to attack right away. which is really gonna be fatal if he gets a chance to get a forward out. And so again, it's one of our favorite cards in Opus One, is the red mage backup, and I'll go ahead and bring it up for everyone to take a look at here. It's going to give him haste until the end of turn. So if Brian has a backup in his hand with enough CP, he can actually swing in, assuming that Mitchell doesn't play a forward. So Mitchell definitely needs to play a forward right now. Looks like Mitchell's playing. He's not quite sure what to do here. The board state is heavily in Brian's favor, especially with that Amon, because the Amon's going to be able to activate another one of dole another one of his opposing forwards. So let's see what Mitchell does here. He plays the lightning. Not sure if that's going to be the best play for him. He's gonna definitely, if he passes the turn, he's definitely gonna be taking 2 points of damage now. So lightning has haste. Brian's gonna go ahead and let that through. It's a good play right now. Because he wants that forward dole, so now he can swing in unimpeded. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we have a Jill. So Jill comes in because it's an EX burst. He's gonna freeze 2 different people. It's not a dull freeze; it's just a freeze, right? So if Brian doesn't choose to attack again, he can go ahead and negate that freeze. So the freeze is on them regardless. So if Brian does activate Amon or Vincent, they will not be able to activate. If he dulls them this turn, they will not be able to activate the next turn. So Jill does a good job of stopping the attack here, unless Brian really wants to press into this. He can, and really put Mitchell at 6 points of damage. And there goes another point up, and so that's what he does. He goes ahead and he's going to go ahead and push Mitchell to 6 points of damage. And with the EX Moomba, that doesn't really help him out too much right now. So what Mitchell can do now is this affords him some time to play 2 forwards, or to perhaps dole freeze the WRO member, so that he can save himself another turn. Though you usually want to follow up the dole freeze with some type of board presence. Otherwise, you're just delaying the inevitable, because Brian still has cards to play, and he does have the backup game 1 at 4. So he swings in with the thing with lightning, and Brian goes ahead and takes it because that opens up the field for him, which is okay right now, because he's still up on the damage overall. He's discarded White Tiger. He's going to go ahead and play the... There you go. He's going to play Shiva. It's going to dole and freeze the WRO member. So right now, Brian's board is incapacitated, which is good. So that was a good play to get that point of damage in. But I really wish he played another forward, because in another turn, he is going to have some issues with those forwards, especially because Brian has the Amon. Brian chooses to go ahead and play the Onion Knight as a response on his opponent's turn. And I think that might be game, because Brian's going to be able to give that Onion Knight haste, right, and attack. And there we go. And there's the game. Looks like Brian goes ahead and takes down the game. And again, we see prevalence of Earth. So that's really good. Earth is really strong, coupled with the tempo that we see from coupled from the tempo that we see from lightning. It really helps Brian control the field. He was really strong at using that death penalty. That really helps him control the forwards. The additional play of the Amon is going to allow him to further control the tempo of the matchup. And the only way to beat that is to go wide and really outrace your opponent into having more threats. Brian was able to keep that pool of available forwards for Mitchell down by using things like death penalty and Amon, and with the WRO members having Brave, he's able to attack and defend at the same time, which really gives Brian a distinct advantage over the ability to play different cards because he knows he doesn't have to take the full brunt of the backswing. So overall, we saw a really good, meticulous game played by Brian. It was nice. It was controlled. He dealt with the forwards that Mitchell played well. He held on to his death penalties. It really helped him out. And that Amon is huge. So we're gonna go ahead and wait until round 2, which is about to start. So stay tuned.
We just want to make sure that everything goes swimmingly. Thank you.